morning, class. Welcome to Language Arts and welcome to the third quarter. So, to celebrate our third quarter and our brand new set of accelerated reader goals, I've got a crate of books and I want to introduce them to you because perhaps sometime this quarter you may want to check them out. So let's get started because we got a lot here. We have a new copy of I, Funny. We have the graphic novel called Crush, which is the third book of the Awkward and Brave series. We have a graphic novel, a small one, called The Little Rock Nine, which is about the students that went to Little Rock, Arkansas High School when they desegregated the schools. We'll be talking about that event later this year. Got a new copy of the first Lunar Chronicles book, Cinder. As many of you know, I just finished this whole series of 4 books. It was fantastic. Great series, a science fiction take on all the classic fairy tales. It's a long series to get through, but it was definitely worth it. So, excellent book. I've got Avi's The Player King, which is a true story. I've got a new copy of the Lord of the Fleas, The Dog Man. I've got Brian's Winter, which is a sequel to Hatchet. It's like an alternate ending, if you've ever read Hatchet. I got Misty Copeland's Life in Motion, a little biography about the famous ballerina. I've got Rick Riordan's Nine from the Nine Worlds, which is about the Norse mythology, like Asgard and all those kind of things. So a little information about the 9 worlds. Pretty cool book. I got a book called Fly Girls, which is a true story about the women who worked on the airplanes and even flew in World War II. So you might want to check that out if you're interested in that sort of thing. Alexander Hamilton, another nonfiction book about history. I've got the sequel to Freak the Mighty called Max the Mighty. So kind of a small little book, but definitely worth reading. I've got a lot of books from the Goosebumps series. We can thank Miss Wilson across the hall who actually gave us these books to add to our library. So got those books to add. If you're into Avatar, The Last Airbender, I've got 3 of these books called The Lost Scrolls. Short little stories. If you're into The Last Airbender. I've got, now, these are heavy, sorry. I got the entire series of the Popularity Papers. There are several of you that have checked these out over the course of this year already, but I only have had like 2 or 3 in there. Now I've got all 6. So if you're interested in the Popularity Papers, they are now going to be in the shelves. I've got another small graphic novel of Nancy Drew. I know they're coming out with a movie very soon of her. Face Off, a little hockey story. I've got a new Dear Dumb Diary, which that's an alliteration. Okay, so maybe I do have superpowers. I've got from the Avengers, Black Widow, Red Forever. James Patterson new book called Word of Mouse. Another graphic novel, Ms. Marvel. Not to be mistaken by Captain Marvel, however, this is a story of Kamala, a Muslim girl who actually gets the powers of Captain Marvel and how she deals with that. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I enjoyed that one. I've got Aaron Entrada Kelly's new one called You Go First. I've got Brian Paulson's Woods Runner, another historical fiction. And finally, I've got The Children of Blood and Bone. Some of you again know I read this one earlier this year, kind of near the end of the summer. Excellent book. It's a big book, but it is a really cool fantasy that's based in African mythology and magic and stuff like that. So definitely a different kind of book, and I really enjoyed it. I couldn't put it down. It was really good. Finished it in about a week and a half. It was really good. So there you have it, guys. Those are all the books. It's plenty for now. More will be on their way, obviously. But something to remind yourself of that when you are checking out a book, you have got to make sure that you fill out one of these AR slips. This is your pass to take your quiz. Okay? And don't forget that you must fill out the card that is in the back of each book with your hour, the date, and your name that you have me as your teacher. And then these slips can be folded up with your name on it and put it in those back sleeve pockets That way, if you happen to drop your book, which several of you do, we'll know who to get these back to. So there you have it, guys. A lot of good books. They will be available starting on Tuesday. And if you are interested in checking any of these out, I invite you to do so. So until then, happy reading. Get those goals met for the third quarter. Until then.